Firstly, welcome to Cross the Seam, a new channel, a new podcast.
And there goes the free.
Access different areas of the ground, but these guys are big with quick hands, quick feet. It's kind of different generations, like cyborgs, mate.
So every time he's going to try it.
We have up top the top 5 hitters of the week. Hitters, batters. English, and I should be saying batsmen, not hitters. That's a baseball term, so that's on me.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? That's how you communicate. How you communicate with your coaches and the people running the franchise is very important, right?
No.
Because I feel like because of this league, and I feel like over the next 5 or 7 years, Liam, I'm gonna go on a limb and say that I think USA cricket's gonna do really well.
Massive.
Firstly, welcome to Cross the Seam, a new channel, a new podcast about all things MLC cricket. I've been around the block for the last 3 years. A little bit different take this year. I'm broadcasting, an MLC ambassador, also an SFU ambassador. Plenty to do, a lot busier than when I was a player. A lot more tiring, actually. A lot of traveling, late nights, but I'm loving it. I'm excited to be joined by Rovman Uthappa. I'm going to give you a few stats. Very, very impressive. 4,952 IPL runs across 205 matches. 660 IPL runs in 2014, winning the Orange Cap. 10 consecutive 40-plus scores in one IPL season. It's a world record. I'm not sure he'd be happy with that because he might want to transfer that to 50 and 100, but we'll ask him in a little bit. 2007 T20 champion with India. So impressive. I've got one of those two, except in a 50 overs. 86 on ODI debut. And I know that very well also because he hit me for a few boundaries. I played in that in India. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to have you on board, Robin. I appreciate you doing this. You're going to be here with me in beautiful USA. We've just been in Texas for 4 or 5 days, been busy, a lot of back-to-backs, double headers. But the good old USA, how is it treating you? And thank you for being on the show.
Liam, first of all, congratulations on this new show, man. I think I see you working hard. I've been here the last 4 or 5 days, and I see you hustling, brother. And it's good to see you donning another side of what this game has to offer for us, and really excited for you. And across the seam, I think is gonna do really well. And I think so far in the MLC, it's been a lot of fun. I think just the numbers have been staggering, hasn't it? In what, 5 games, 4 days, I think we've had almost 1,500 runs. We've had what 300s, if I'm not wrong, 3 or 400s. We've
Crazy,
seen some
yeah.
stellar batting. We've seen almost 250 run score put up by a team, 245 actually. And we've had someone who's striking at 300. In Dasun Shanaka's, I think 12 ball 35 or 40 or something, 12 ball 36, where he's striking at 300. He's just, the cricket's been phenomenal. It has been hot in Dallas, so it's nice to come to San Francisco and enjoy some cooler weather. I have come less prepared for this, so at some point I have to go and pick up a jacket.
Yeah, I mean, it was hot, mate. You're used to it. You live in Dubai. Obviously, spent majority of your life in India. So for you to say it hot, it's definitely hot. I think I travel with 4 jerseys every day, and I'm interchanging. I'm changing through chinos, changing through pants, sweating. But it's that aircon needs to get pumped into them tents, fully surviving me from the north of England. Okay, game 1, TSK won by 6 wickets with 9 balls to spare. We had the Orcas, who actually got off to a lovely start with Tim Seifert, 104, with Sheehan, 78. I think it was a record-breaking partnership of 191. Pretty impressive start by the pod squad, mate.
It was. They were really impressive, man. I love Shayan Jahangir and Tim Seifert's partnership. I think it was the highest partnership for any wicket in the MLC. Initially it took a little time to get off the blocks, did Shayan, but once he got set, then he also started going after the bowlers. And it was a solid game. It was great to see Seifert bat the way he did. He's been batting really well over the last months. It's great to see him amongst the runs. He didn't get too much of an opportunity even in the IPL. But I'm glad he's getting a go here. You said I think last year also he didn't get too much of a go in the MLC,
Yeah.
did he?
Yeah, he was at the Unicorns with me. He played a couple of games, but then was obviously sidelined. Unicorns were flying. We won 7 from 7. I think
Yeah,
Finn Allen donned the wicket-keeping gloves, but yeah, he came out today. Obviously, that game scored 100, looked magnificent, great partnership. And as you said, Sheehan normally comes out the blocks quickly, gets a
yeah,
quick 20, 30 and gets out, but he played the anchor role and then put his foot on the gas towards the back end. Outstanding partnership. The big guys, Hetmai and Stoinis, not really required. Not out 8, not out 13, which was a good score, flat pitch, but it was the first game of the season. No one really knew what that surface was going to be like. So I think you'd have been happy with the 220. But then the man Faf du Plessis said, hold my beer, right? He said, I'm going to
yeah.
get
He did, did he?
113 or 50.
He
Yeah, 113 or 52. Riley Rousseau, 49 of 21, mate. Unbelievable.
Yeah, both were really good. Riley also was at his dominant best, and Faf, as in coming off, a double kind of surgery. I think he had both a wrist and a forearm surgery, and then took some time off, and then I think played some league in Europe, and then came here after that. Used that as warm up, I think, as prep work to come for the league here at the MLC, and smashed it, didn't he? As in just absolute dominance, and just
Yeah.
lent into his experience and. I think he likes batting at that ground in Dallas.
Yeah. I agree. Looking at this here, the Texas Super Kings with USA cricketers heavy with Sai Muknamala, you had Milan Kumar, Ranjani. Didn't quite get going, but they didn't need to, did they? The Texas Super Kings were outstanding. So that was obviously a great start for them guys. Then we had the second game. We had my fellow teammates, the Unicorns, took on the LA Knight Riders. Unicorns always had a strong squad, but the LA Knight Riders this year have a little bit of a different look with Munro, who's a part of that family, played a lot for the Knight Riders family, looked outstanding.
Yeah,
The Unicorns set a total of 150 for 7. We had the debut of Pretorius. I've seen a little bit of him, never played against him, but he looked powerful, outstanding, set the tone with a 58. Matt Short, the skipper, 30. In terms of the bowling wise, we had some Narayan, the elder statesman, looked outstanding again, took 2 for, always good at breaking partnerships.
Mhm.
But the LA Knight Riders came on strong, mate. Colin Munro and the Spice Man did most of the damage there.
Yeah, they were at their devastating best, weren't they? As in Colin has again someone who's played so much of T20 cricket, franchise cricket around the world. He's also played here before. He understands this part of the world, how cricket's played in this part of the world, and kind of just dominated the scene. The Spiceman again was at his best again, and we had I think was it Rovman who came and played a little bit of a blinder in that game. Just 44, I think he got of 22 balls. He played well as well. But it was great to see Luandre play as well as he did and start off the MLC in some superb fashion.
Yeah, 100%. The Unicorns, obviously, not too much to shout for in terms of the bowling department because it is quite flat. But Peter Siddle chipped in with 2 wickets. Obviously, came across as a replacement player, still doing his thing there. But it was a good win for LAKR. On to the next game, we have game 3, Washington Freedom versus the Seattle Orcas. Seattle Orcas, who got beat the first game, came back strong here. We had the Washington Freedom 216. This we seen kind of the first look this year of Mitch Owen. We'll speak about him in a little bit, who got 61 of 25. Chapman, the New Zealander, 57. Andreas House, 35. Decent total again, but obviously we knew it was a flat pitch.
Yeah,
In terms of the bowling department, we had Bartman 4 overs, 4 for 33. I
yeah,
think he was the man of the match in that game, to
he
be honest with
was.
you. He was outstanding the way he finished.
He was freaking phenomenal, wasn't he? As in, he's one of those players who's just figured out his T20 game and he knows how to bowl in these T20 games. He's super disciplined. He hits the stumps where, as a batter, you have to think, if I miss, he's going to hit the stumps. So I got to be really accurate and
Yeah.
play with a lot of precision when it comes to playing going up against Bartman. And they were cruising, man. The Freedom were cruising. The Freedoms were cruising at 171 for 1, I think, or 2, and then they just kind of lost the plot for a little bit, and then Bartman got 4, and then they got derailed and just managed to get to 219, I think, or 216, I think, and
Yeah.
then it was just the Orcas' way, and the Orcas for in this game, in the previous game they were on the receiving end, but in this game actually dished it out to the Washington Freedom team, where they again Seifert went hammer and tongs, and Britsky went hammer and tongs as well. They both kind of fed off each other and just smashed it and took them home. I think eventually it was it yeah, I think was Shanaka who also contributed at the end at the back end.
Yeah, yeah. He just came in kind of nonchalant. He was just like, I'm just going to flip this over here, flip this over here, a few sixes.
Did.
Jobs are good, and 36 off 12 balls. I've not seen too much of Bretsky, and he's obviously been around for a while, but he batted beautiful. You can see the way how still he is at his head, and you hear like AB de Villiers talking about even when you're moving around the crease, your head's so still.
Yeah.
Something you did really well, and I was very impressed with him. He looked like a quality player with a strike rate of 183, mate.
Yeah, he's actually a super high quality player, Liam, and he's been doing really well for South Africa as a number 4 in one day cricket. They're still trying to find a spot, I think, for him in T20I cricket. But someone who's done exceptionally well, even for I think the Sunrisers Eastern Cape in the SA20s, and prolifically scoring runs over there. So someone who's growing in confidence as a batter, and you can see him batting with that same level of confidence over here. I'm not sure if it's the first or the second time he's come here, but he's batting like he's been here for a while, right? And really just
Yeah, yeah.
himself so freely, which is great to watch.
Yeah, it is, man. Pretty impressive. I mean, very batters friendly until the next game. Some good scores, 200, plenty of runs to had. And then it comes to the next game, which was TSK versus SFU. Texas Super Kings batted first, and there was a bit more on the wicket here. It was an afternoon game, and it was a bit slower, a different pitch like we spoke about previously. Faf, I think it was Siddle bowled nicely, and he kind of knew the pitch was a little bit slow. Passed on the communication to Brody Couch, whose first delivery, I think, to Faf du Plessis was a heavy cutter into the pitch, and he kind of got stuck on the crease and went for a pull shot too early on it or too late on it, and it got caught deep square. So that's when the wicket is the first time we kind of seen it change a little bit.
Yeah, it was slightly different. I thought it had a little bit. In fact, it just felt like um, that day it just felt like because the wicket was slightly fresh. It felt, and the previous day there was rain as well. It just felt like there was something in it for the bowlers. And because there was something in it, I thought, Siddle kind of lent into his experience quite a bit, and then he communicated really well. And to see Siddle bowl
Yeah.
41, 42, he's still bowling 135, 140 clicks an hour is great to watch. And he's hitting the right areas and being effective. And I think he got the first couple of wickets. He got Mukamalla out in the second delivery of his spell.
Yeah.
And then Couch got Faf out in I think his first ball of his spell of his first spell.
Yeah.
Kind of pegged Texas back completely. And then they just couldn't recover. They just lost wickets, and there were no partnerships. And there was just, there were no back-to-back wickets quite consistently through the innings, and this kind of let them, kind of let themselves down. The fact that they got a 152 was thanks to something that, was thanks to a little bit of impetus at the back end, right?
Yeah, yeah. I agree with the hardest Viljean. I think the obviously struggle as well is you had the informed batters. Riley Rousseau was 36, got run out. Then you had Ferreira at the back end, who's 21, just get going, also run out. If you're in, they're the guys who do damage. Obviously, the back end, he's a powerhouse, Ferreira, and he would have smoked something. We've seen him go berserk and get 50 off not many. So if you start getting run out, and that obviously leaves you in a pickle, and obviously you're going to be 30, 40, 50 runs short because your main powerhouses are not getting access because they've been run out.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of easy for SFU. They won with 74, I think it was 18 overs with maybe 13 balls left. Pretorius, again, looked outstanding, 69 off 55. We had Matt Short, who had a good game with bat and ball, 31 off 19.
That's right.
And Sanjay Krishnamurthy, also a good USA player, came out, just knocked it around a little bit. It's nice to get time in the middle. First time getting 19 runs, hit a few boundaries, but it was kind of a cruisy win in the end. So it's confidence for the San Francisco Unicorns.
He's a kid that I'm super impressed about, yeah, Sanjay Krishnamurthy. Again, someone from the USA who I think is really exciting, and I think someone who'll do really well for USA. He's also really young, isn't he? He must be all of 20, 21 maybe. He's got very clean technique. He's got, great biomechanics, and you think that his game is made actually for T20 cricket. So I think you'll see him doing well in the MLC, and I think you'll see him do well for the USA for a long time to come.
I agree. Playing with him at the Unicorns, he was kind of thrown at the deep end by Waddle, and he was amazing. I remember he got 70 odd off maybe 30, 40 against an amazing international bowling attack
Yeah,
and some of the shots he played. But he's a very talented kid, and it's very impressive. You see him playing on the world stage now. And I think what MLC is really good at is giving opportunity to youngsters.
yeah,
So when they did go play in the T20 World Cup, the youngsters have played against a lot of them superstars. I know they played a tight game against India, and it is a lot of the kids, a lot of people might have been born in India, they've moved across the USA to obviously build on their game, and the
yeah.
families have moved here. But it felt like they knew how to deal with the pressure because MLC had kind of helped them do that.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. And I think you'll see a lot more of the Indian origin, subcontinent origin kind of players in the USA doing really well. Because I feel like because of this league, and I feel like over the next 5 or 7 years, Liam, I'm gonna go on a limb and say that I think USA cricket's gonna do really well. There are a few
Yeah.
wrinkles that need to be ironed out, but I think from an administrative point of view. But I think once that gets sorted out, I think the cricket's going to really thrive here. And I think it's again over the next 10 years, it's going to be a really interesting and exciting phase for American cricket.
Yeah, I mean, even what we're doing here in terms of myself and you having conversations to
Yeah,
showcase what's going on here. I
yeah,
think this is what we need to showcase the talent that's coming through. I've been here for many 4 or 5 years now, and I see what's happening in the academies. I see the minor league and major league. I see how uh, it is a big country and it takes a while to get things up and running. But there's much talent out there, and the kids are getting well, not kids, the young players are getting opportunities and they're standing up. There's no fear. They play a couple of games and just say, "I'm going to give this a massive crack." With the Olympics on the horizon, it's very exciting, mate. Very,
yeah,
very exciting.
yeah. And I think not just the Olympics, right? I think I'm looking at this from a long-term perspective, and I think about, you know, even look at all the other sports, American sports that existed here, right? It all took its time, right? Whether it's the MLB or the NBA or any other sport that's come through the ranks here, it's taken its time to grow. And I think you have to have that kind of long-term perspective. And I love the fact that the MLC is actually happening annually. So a lot of the youngsters growing up right now, the 8-year-olds and the 9-year-olds and the kids who are actually playing cricket now, will have will have the MLC to look forward to when they grow up. And not just playing, in the IPL or playing in some other league in the world, but actually playing their league in America. And I think that's what you want the youngsters to feel, that there is a system here that elevates us to playing the highest level of cricket here in our own country, and playing the highest level of the league in our own country. And you want that. You want the MLC to be built for the American ecosystem, and you want that to
Yeah.
kind of go down and grow into the minor leagues and beyond the minor leagues to colleges and universities, and then it becoming a part of the NCAAs, and you want the cricket to kind of go down to
Yeah, yeah.
those levels, and then reverse kind of feed the MLC. Instead of it being grown top down, it grows bottom up. And if that when that starts happening,
Mm.
and that gets integrated, oh man, I think cricket's gonna really like just kind of go through this
Yeah, to that
development.
point, I agree, and I think it's from top to bottom and then bottom to top here, right?
Yeah,
That's kind of how it's working here.
yeah,
There's so much you don't see here in terms of grassroots, and but to your point now, if you've got a kid who loves cricket, he can
yeah,
see that pipeline all the way through. He
exactly.
gets to see Citation, he gets to see all these guys playing MLC for USA, playing in
That's right.
T20 World Cups, and he can see that pathway there. So yeah, 100%, mate. I totally agree with you, and that's why we're here to help grow that. That's what I'm doing, right? That's why
Yeah,
we're talking these conversations to make people aware of the talent here.
yeah, and that's what should
Next
be.
game, we have. Sorry, to your point. Go ahead, mate.
I was
Sorry.
just saying that's what should be done. I think from a long-term perspective, that should be the plan for cricket over here, to kind of grow it from the bottom up.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's some good people doing some great work here,
Yeah,
mate.
for
You can
sure.
see the passion when the crowds are here, and you see the passion, the kids, and even on the women's side, there's
Yeah,
potential here. There's a lot of academies in America where it's packed full of young girls and women who want to play cricket. And we
yeah,
hopefully, I know that Seattle have just launched. They're going to do a T20 women's competition later on in the year. So when franchises start get the mind around that, it's
yeah.
going to excite people and women and girls to come and join this.
Amazing. That's amazing. I look forward to it all. I think it's a great place where cricket needs to grow here.
The next game for me was one of the most exciting games I've seen, especially the innings of our guy here, Mitch Owen. We had obviously a massive score of 245. It could have been a lot bigger.
Hmm?
I think obviously it was an absolute pumping. The Freedom smoked it, but the back end of that innings, there was some good bowling by the youngster here for MI New York. We had Mitch Owen, which was ridiculous, mate. He could have broke the record for the T20 highest score, 155 off 68. He was helped a little bit by Steve Smith, 27, Chapman, 23, but he didn't really need help in that situation. I've never seen anything like that, mate.
That was just some phenomenal batting. And I think he's one of those absolutely exciting talents that makes me really excited for international cricket over the next decade. His batting was so clinical and so dominant. It just felt like you're watching someone dominating underage cricket, but he's doing it at a professional level. It was just phenomenal to watch, and something that I think we'll see a whole lot more of. Biomechanically was doing everything right from a batting perspective. And just from the word go, Liam, just to be able to dominate, world-class bowlers the way he did was just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was frightening how far he hits it. What kind of intimidates me as a bowler is big guys like Finn Allen and obviously Owen, who are huge, but they're very quick with the hands as well.
Yeah.
And normally you see big guys who struggle, like they might get caught out if they have to do a certain movement or to be able to access different areas of the ground. But these guys are big with quick hands, quick feet.
Yeah.
It's kind of different generations, like cyborgs, mate. It's
Yeah.
like cyborgs, robots built in the lab, you know?
Yeah, it just feels like different gravy,
So
doesn't it? It just feels like where are these guys coming from and how are they playing the way they're playing? As in, it's phenomenal. They just elevated the game to another level, just evolved the game to the next level, and it just feels like, um, you know, there is no ceiling anymore with batting. It just feels like that right now.
no. Crazy. What going to that? I know it was a massive score, but what I did like about that, Agaka, obviously the young bowler who was successful last year in the final, he might got man of the match in that, where Maxwell struggled to get him away. When you look at the bowling lineup, it was a lot of them got pumped, to be honest with you. But in terms of how he bowled at the back end, he went for 38 off 4, but he was like the one kind of shining light. I know it's not great figures, but he still stood up again against like the powerhouses that were doing damage to the team, you know?
I think I won for 37. I think in a game where most bowlers went for 13s and 14s. In a game where they scored batting side scored 245. I think those are decent figures. And he took an absolute blinder of a catch of Chapman at short third man. It was an absolute
Yeah, he did.
stunner. And very few times do you see a catch like that taken by a youngster, and it was great cricket to watch. So Rishi has been, a breath of fresh air, I think, for a bowler who's not express pace to be clever and to be able to bowl the way he does. Top stuff from him, yeah.
Yeah, I actually was outside the comms box at that point behind him.
Yeah.
Freaky catch, mate. I think it hit him quicker than he thought, and he was like quickly grabbed it like he caught
Yeah,
like a pigeon out of the
the ball
sky,
was
mate.
on
It was
its
like
way up,
quick hand.
and
Pretty
the ball was on his way up, and he on its way up, and he was on his way up, and it just kind of intersected at the right moment. It was just phenomenal to watch.
very, very impressive. The run chase was not successful, but what was successful, mate, was Kieran Pollard getting 100 and breaking that record. I mean, from your side, you're a batsman, mate. It's pretty impressive. Well, it is. No one's ever done it. The highest run score in T20 cricket in the world, still doing it. He's an ambassador, he's a coach, he's a player, he's a mentor, and obviously he's a player who looked in great form with ease, mate.
Yeah, he was really good, wasn't he? He was playing cricket after 6 months, and to come out there and to have batted the way he did, and have not have played cricket before this, just speaks volumes of just the talent that he is, and the ability that he's got as a batter. Granted, he's probably taken 200 games more than Chris Gale, but to have to go over that that record as a finisher, that too. And to be able to do that by
Yeah.
virtue of getting 100, I think truly well deserved. He's an absolute icon of the game, one of the goats of T20 cricket, and I think someone who people will always who will always be about part of the conversation of the greatest ever to have played the T20 game.
I agree, mate. It was fascinating, and the way he hits the ball, it's clean. It's like a shovel. He doesn't even have to extend his arms. He kind of just hits it, a bit like Chris Gale.
He's
When he hits it hard, it goes for 12 or 18. When he hits it, it goes for 6 with a little shovel. What what I like about the Big Show, Glenn Maxwell, is sometimes he struggles with the bat, like everyone does, but he still involves himself in the game. The way he started there, he got a couple of wickets, but that run out he got, which was through his legs, I think we might have been both on
when he
comms on that
recovered.
point, but he is a special. Yeah, he's special, mate. The way you start like that, the way you think about the game, the way you think about throwing it through your legs and getting a run out. Not everyone thinks like that, but that's why he is so impressive because he can win games with a bat ball and in the field.
Yeah, that's the thing about Maxi, right? And I think I've always felt in T20 cricket he's a little bit more dependable as a bowler than as a batter. Because he can be quite hit and miss when it comes to batting. But when he hits big. But with bowling, he's a lot more dependable. You know that you can get a couple of overs out of him, and in those overs, he's got this uncanny ability of being, super effective. And I think 5 or 6 out of 10 times when he bowls, he's actually on the button and he gets the job done.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I mean, you might have played with him as well. I've played with him in a few franchises, and when he bats and he goes off, it's impressive. He can do what he wants, right? He manipulates it, scoops and pulls and sweep shots, but he is consistent with the ball, mate. He's underrated, not by cricketers because we know what he can do, but in the field and as that presence, right? He's someone who turns on the field and he can win the game.
Yeah,
So good game there. Washington Freedom. It was a nice one to watch. You don't often see people getting 150, and then obviously a legend of the game who breaks records. So congratulations to the Freedom who won that game. We have two more games to chat about. We've got the Knight Riders versus the Orcas. The Knight Riders won by 81 runs. So we had the Knight Riders batted first, and they got 196. We had Munro and the Spiceman again. Good partnership up top there. We had Powell, which was impressive as you've ever seen. Very close to doing the thing. 6 sixes. Just got 5 sixes, thankfully. And he was out on that 6 ball of Shanaka. Thankfully, Shanaka, his reaction on the screen was, yeah, thank you very much. That did not happen to me.
it was,
That was obviously nice to see
it
that.
was absolute
But
relief when he got out. It was just relief in Shanaka's eyes.
oh mate, I've been on the back end where I've went 3 4 6s, and you're like, please, please, whatever I'm doing here. Sometimes the bat has his day, and even if you bowl a bouncer as a top edge for 6 and you try a cutter and he half hits it to a
Yeah,
short boundary, but to be honest with you, them were proper hits, mate. Powell is a powerful bloke, and they just don't go across the line. They break bricks off buildings the way he hits the ball.
yeah, he does, and he was hitting every six in that over was better than the previous one, and it just got better and better and better, and you just felt like, oh my God, this guy's gonna he's gonna hit 6 sixes here. But Dasun, I think, he was really lucky to have bowled what he bowled at that point in time, a wide bouncer, and to have just gotten him caught
Mm.
at short third man. He was really lucky, I think.
Crazy, but we didn't know at that point what the score was like. Obviously, Powell and Holder, there were a little bit of a hold there. They got tied down a little bit, but Holder and Powell came in and smoked it, and that took them to 196. We had Jesse Singh picked up 3 for, but also our guy, the Bartman, picked up another 3 for, mate.
Bartman is in some stunning form, man, and I think he'll be one of the most prolific T20 bowlers going around. I don't know if he got an IPL gig this year, but no business that why he shouldn't have one. I think he'll
Yeah.
be in high demand over the next year.
Yeah, I agree. The Orcas then obviously batted. They only made 115. They were bowled out in 15.3 overs. No one really got going, to be honest with you. And if you look at the bowling there, we had Narayan again, 4 overs, 2 for 18. Magical bowler, mate. He's been so impressive around the world for so long. Kami LaRue, a USA player, MLC player, not played for USA yet, got 2 for 17. But also Shadley Van Schalkwyk, I
Yeah,
think. I know him very well, and I always butcher his name. I think he was man of the match or baller of the game. He took 3 for 17, and he showed his skills. His cutters is sort of like he's got a cutter, but he kind of he bowls it quick into the pitch, not too slow, but he kind of rips it down, and he got some purchase off the wicket.
yeah, he did.
Andre Russell will be very happy, who got 3 for 8 off 1.3 balls.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was a quick finish by the Knight Riders. The Orcas just couldn't get it going after Seifert and Jahangir got out early. And I thought that you know um, Schlachwijk just kind of came out there and used his variations really, really well. I think there's a sense of confidence as well as far as his execution is concerned right now because of his success in the World Cup as well with his bowling. And I think when you have that confidence and you start executing with that confidence, you start seeing things going your way. And then you just feel confident about your own skills and you start executing so much better and the results start working in your favor. I think confidence kind of begets confidence and then performances kind of follow up with that.
I agree. It's funny, isn't it? Because you have people have a name, a reputation, and sometimes that gets wickets or runs. I know you have to do the thing, but obviously Shadley played now in MLC. He played in the World Cup and he picked up wickets. So now when people around the world are facing him, they know he's got skills. So that's also in the back of their mind. Potentially, like a few years ago, it's like they might have heard of him, but now he knows he can perform in India against the best in the world, and it's a different mindset, I guess.
Yeah, it does. And especially when you do well in the World Cup, it just makes you feel really good about your own game, and it just gives you a little bit of that oomph that you need in your career to kind of go out there and just perform. And suddenly it feels like leagues feel like far more easier because you've done it at the highest level in the biggest tournament.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of them USA players should get some serious confidence from that World Cup, mate. I know, obviously, they were very close games and they would have liked to win some more games, but you're playing against some tough teams in terms of India and Pakistan in conditions that suit them nations,
Yeah.
at home in the subcontinent. Uh, one more game just to speak about here, mate. We had the last game with MI New York, won by 8 wickets. It was TSK, got 158.
Mm.
And it kind of felt like MI New York didn't really break a sweat, mate. You had 162, kind of knocked it off. Looking through the Texas Super Kings scorecard, Ranjani got 49 off 36. Milind Kumar, again, 39 off 30. They were kind of in a situation where they didn't know if to stick or twist. But Milind Kumar, a good player, but I think when you look at his stats and stuff, I think his strike rate potentially needs to go up a little bit if he wants to be seen and known as a good striker of the ball. I think he's got a great technique and smack the ball, whack spin. I think it's just like how can he get that strike rate up a little bit?
Yeah, I don't think he's figured out his T20 game yet. I think he's a phenomenal one-day player, and he's done well. He's done really well for
Mhm.
America in the one-dayers. But I think as a T20 player, he needs to figure out his game, and I think someone who needs to kind of pace his innings a little bit more and follow a process. I don't think there's a process to or there's a method to the madness of scoring his runs in T20 cricket yet. You see
Yeah.
that with a lot of players. There's a method to a lot of the players' madness about how they go about scoring runs. You don't see that with Milind, and I think that as he needs to figure that out very quickly, otherwise he'll fall out of favor in T20 cricket. But I think he's a high quality player and is certainly got the potential to be a solid middle order bat, not just for the Super Kings, but also for America.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. And obviously, he can ball his off spin there.
Yeah,
We look at why that was so hard because you had Trent Boult who bowled three off the bounce up top, took three for 18,
yeah,
and all you had Bosch who bowled with heavy pace, was very aggressive, smashed the pitch. I've seen a little bit of him, I've watched it, but I was very impressed with Boult, and then obviously Bosch took over. Good gas. Like 88, 89. He might have touched 90 once or twice, but he ran in, used the pitch, bounces, and I was impressed with him also.
yeah. He was really good. He was really good yesterday. He just kind of hit the deck really hard, bowled the short ball really well, utilized the short ball really, really well. And by just, I think generally he bowls a heavy ball. He's a big dude and kind of hits the deck really hard. So uh, he needs to be, and he nails his Yorkers really well as well. So can be a really good death bowler.
Yeah.
I think he's generally a death option for whichever franchise he plays. But yesterday was impressive even in the middle overs.
I agree. I agree, mate. And then the second innings, MI New York didn't really break a sweat too much. It was nice to see, obviously, when Patel, 46 off 34, USA player who was actually, he scored really well last year. I think he was a leading run scorer. And obviously Nicholas Puran, who sort of just, his role as captain,
Yeah.
we see him sometimes 70 off 20, 70 off 30. Didn't need to. 68 off 46. Obviously some great striking, but he was clever, very savvy, wanted to win the game, wanted to get points on the board, and he finished it off lovely, mate.
Yeah, he was good as well. And I thought overall, the game was a pretty simple and straightforward one. There was not much to talk home about. For the Super Kings. Am I clinical about the way they went about their batting? and their bowling, they had a very good day all
Yep.
around. I think the bowlers bowled really well. The batters came out there and were clinical with the way they batted. Did their bit to kind of improve their net run rate at the back end in the last 3 overs. So they need, I think, 3 overs, 22 runs to win, and they kind of polished it off in that 1 over itself.
I agree. That's a roundup of the game. Just a quick one in terms of the run scorers. We have up top the top 5 hitters of the week. Hitters, batters, English, and I should be saying batsmen, not hitters. That's a baseball term. So that's on me.
That's fine. I think you can say hitters now. We're in America. We got Americanized
Fly
hitters.
ball. It's a fly ball, mate. It's a fly ball. So we have Mitchell Owen up top. We have Team Sightford. We have Pretorius, Faf du Plessis, and Bretsky. In terms of the bowling side, Bartman, who's been outstanding with 8 pulls. USA player Jasdeep Singh has 6 wickets. Peter Siddle, obviously 41, 42 years old, bowling lovely, good pace, like you mentioned earlier, with 5 wickets. Netravalka, another USA fast bowler, left arm over, who's took 4 wickets. And obviously Shanaka, who's at the back of the pack there with 3. It's obviously great to see some US names there in the bowling department. It was not a bowling friendly pitch there in Dallas. We're moving on to the next place, which is the Auckland Coliseum, which also maybe have a little grip, bit uneven. But the boundaries are very, very small, mate. I'm not sure you were there last year, but I played in it and it was very small. I was feeling that fine leg and it felt like I was mid off, mid on. So yeah, it's not a great a great look for the bowlers. But I'm excited to move away from the heat to give us a bit of a breather with that weather, mate. It
Yeah,
was
but
toasty
usually,
there, you know.
like for me, I didn't anticipate the kind of weather that we have in Oakland. It's a little nippy for my liking, and I didn't come prepared. So I have to find a way to get some jackets to keep me warm over the next few days over here, the next couple of weeks over here. But I'm looking forward to the
Yeah.
Team Coliseum and the sixes that the bowlers are going to get belted for over the next couple of weeks. Because next couple of weeks is going to be runs galore, my friend. Runs galore.
I'm just going to go through the USA players. A couple obviously stand out. Cheyenne, 78, looked beautiful. He batted nicely with the Orcas team. Netravalka picked up a 2 for and a 1 for. Milind Kumar, a couple of runs, as we said, just needs to pick up his strike rate, but a couple of runs there. Ali Khan looked decent. Saitesh Mukdamal struggled a little bit. He'd be disappointed. Obviously, a youngster. We know he's good. We scored in the T20 World Cup, so hopefully he comes back and starts getting some runs.
Yeah.
Sanjay Krishnamurthy also just get going. A few runs, looked nice in the second time he batted.
Yeah,
Finished not out. Andreas House looked great actually in one of the chases.
he did.
It's kind of strange for him though because he's used to opening the batting. He's used to seeing that new ball in the power play, and he's a great player, mate. Andreas
He
House, he's very experienced now. It reminds me a little bit of Joss Butler the way he kind of plays, to be honest with you.
he does.
But it's hard in that team. That Washington Freedom team's hard, especially with Owen now. He's not going to get a gig up top unless there's an injury.
Yeah, I don't think, and I think he should open his mind up to playing in the middle order as well, because I think it'll just kind of it kind of opens up the options of him of what he can do for US as well as because he's not, how old is Andreas?
I'd be guessing, mate, early 30s, maybe. Maybe I'm being harsh. I have no idea, mate. You know, I'm not an ageist, mate. You know, I see him as a person. You know, I don't know how old he is, mate.
Yeah, so I think he should be open to that. I'm glad he's doing what he's doing right now at the middle order for the Freedom side, because I think that'll just kind of open up
Yeah,
his options as he gets older as well. Because as you get older, then the younger guys get a lot more preferences of positions, right? So if he gets success at
yeah.
number 4, number 5 position, number 6 position, then he can still continue to play the side as a veteran, but someone who kind of anchors the middle order and finishes for his team, which I think augurs well for him and for America moving forward.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the mindset because when you're playing in a team, obviously Ricky Ponting is the head coach.
Yeah,
It's like, are you happy batting somewhere you don't want to bat? Or when the season finishes, you might have won a trophy, but it's a bit like, I don't know, other sports, isn't it? If you're riding the bench or you're not where you want to be, it's like, do you want to move because you get a chance to open? So what do you want to be? Like a team player, win trophies? Or do you want to play and bat up top and get runs? You know, it's like, what's the mindset for you, you know?
yeah. I think every cricketer needs to kind of make peace with that as to how they measure success for themselves as a cricketer. Do you measure success for yourself from the point of view of winning championships, or Is it the number of runs you score and your individual performances? Once you have clarity of that, then you can align yourself with, your team's goals with your goals and the roles you'll play, the roles you'll play within that. Because oftentimes
Yeah.
the dichotomy always begins when your personal goals aren't aligned with the team goals, right? And the sport we play is a dynamic one. It is an individual sport within a team sport. It's not just a team sport, You're always in competition
Yeah.
with people within your own side as well, and not just competing with the opposition side. So it's quite nuanced, our game. And players have to figure out these nuances for themselves as they navigate through their careers.
Franchise cricket also, right? If you're in the middle, you're winning trophies, but you're getting little scores. Like, where do you move next? If no one's seen you smack 50 up the top and you're getting 30 off 20 to help win a game, but are you going to get picked up and earn money in
But
different
that's
franchises, right? You want to be there in the public eye.
Yeah, and that's the thing,
So,
right? That's how you communicate. How you communicate with your coaches and the people running the franchise is very important, right? To communicate, what you measure for success, right? If you're someone who says my individual runs don't matter as long as my performances can contribute to winning championships, that's what matters. Then if you can communicate that to your coaches and the people running the side, then people are going to pay attention to that, right? And it's about driving those narratives forward because in a team sport, individual performances like that can be lost. But if you set the expectations of the people running the squad and running the franchise from the get-go, then they know there's pure communication and there's an open line of communication there where the players are communicating about what matters to them and how they're going to contribute to the team. And when they do, you can always look at your coach and say, "Hey, I ticked the box today," and that goes a long way
yeah.
in them being remembered for what they do for the side.
Yeah. No, 100%. Finishing off the USA players, Malak Patel, we just talked about, looked good on a 40 odd. A good run, a good
Yeah,
stand there with the
46.
cock. Harmeet Singh also a couple of wickets, smacked a few sixes. Corey Anderson is obviously not playing USA now. Didn't quite get going. We know Corey can be dangerous and deadly with the bat when he gets going. But that's kind of the roundup of the games and also what the USA players are doing. Uh, back Probably back after the Auckland Coliseum. We will be back after the Auckland Coliseum to talk about these games, but that's kind of the first roundup. My kind of overall opinion of it, it was a great batting pitch. We've seen some amazing hitting. It was tough to bowl on. But if I could take a T20 pitch in terms of being in America, I would pick up that Grand Prairie. I'm going to say that again. You pick up that stadium, you take it everywhere you go. It's a perfect size, perfect boundary size, maybe 11,000 to 15,000 people in for America. It's a beautiful place to watch cricket, and it looks like it's a beautiful place to play cricket,
It
Robbie.
is. It is a phenomenal place to play cricket. I think we had an issue with how hot it was because we weren't playing.